Welcome back to Viewer's Voice. In this episode, I'm going to speak about how people can either change their perspectives for the better or just hopefully get them to understand that there's different ways to view things. Maybe in a better light or a dimmer light. But regardless, understand that everything has its own value and its own worth and potentially its own meaning if you want to give it that. And what I mean by that is it's very easy to lose sight of what's important, whether you define importance by how you gain from it, how you value what this certain thing is, or wherever you place it in your life. Regardless of the matter, understand that everything has its own importance, even if it doesn't line up with your definition. Now, what I mean by that is, like I said, it's very easy to lose sight of plenty of things. Lose sight of where you want to be in life, lose sight of what you have currently, and just try to replace everything with something that you view as better. And that's not always the case. That's not something that you always need to do. Because sometimes, looking too far ahead is just as bad as staying in the past. Staying in the past obviously has no true benefits if you're not learning anything. Obviously, you want to use your past as a lesson. But ultimately, if all you're doing is dwelling on it and just looking back at scenarios and situations that you already regretted being in the first place, then you do not benefit from it. You do not gain from it. And the same applies to looking in the future, looking too far ahead and looking into a scenario that you have yet to come across and yet to encounter. Because all you're going to do is just think of all the possibilities, all the ways that it's going to occur, and just lose focus on how you want it to occur. And of course, you don't want that. Like, let's say you have a job opportunity. You have a job opportunity, you want to picture how the interview could go, and so on and so forth. Stick to that. Don't think about all the ways that it could just be bombed and just go absolutely terrible. Because you don't want to do that either. And like I said, especially with social media, it's very easy to lose sight of things that's important. I could say this in two different ways. For instance, you see someone living their best life, living the life that you want to live. And all you're thinking about is just how you can obtain that dream, how everything they have is just so valuable. And that just makes you start to lack the appreciation for what you currently have. Understand that you're in a great place right now. You don't just need to jump to the next level or the level after that. And understand that what they have currently is just as valuable as the thing that you have. And you may feel like you don't have anything, but that's a problem. Thinking that you have nothing is where the lack of appreciation starts. Because understand that wherever you are currently, you have all the things that you need. And even if you quote unquote don't, you can get those things. You can make those things and you can find ways around it. Because not everyone has the same path and not everyone can just do the same thing. Because we all have different creativity. However, we can all very much make the same thing with different resources and a different mindset and different perspectives. Because like I said, no one has the same journey, but people can easily have the same outcome. It's just a matter of what you do with the things that you have and ways that you can get to where you want to be. Now, someone can have the most expensive, the most glamored out gym possible to obtain the natural physique, the strong physique that they so want to obtain. Whereas you don't have that. You may work out from home. You may just work out in a local gym. Use things that people wouldn't consider gym equipment, right? Or just do calisthenics instead of, dumbbell belt press or whatever, because you don't have what they have to attain what you want. But at the end of the day, you and that person that has everything can still be in the same place and still get the same physique that you both dream to have. And that's why it's like you have to value what you have. You don't need to just have puppy eyes at what you want, because there's still a lot of things around you that you need to appreciate and that you should just take a step back and understand. And another way is, like I said in the previous video as well, is with the whole views on social media. Understand that you don't have to go viral, that you don't have to blow up to get the attention that you so desperately seek, because obviously you don't want to just be standing in front of a million people. You may want a million likes, But ultimately, if you stand a million people, that's gonna make you feel a little anxious, or with the amount of people there, it may feel a little bit watered down. Because a true appreciation, it's like, it feels great, of course. You're getting appreciated by a million people. However, simply having 10 people walk up to you in person, 20 people, 30 people, that feels great as well. Because you know that you reached out to 30 different people. Understand these are different people with different values and different ways that they see different things. That feels good. You don't need to be appreciated by a whole auditorium of people. You can just simply be appreciated by a group of people, a class of people. It doesn't matter. But understand that these things deserve their value too. Because the little things are just as important as the big things. But if all you focus on is the big things, then you will never be able to see just how important the little things are as well. And that can be a problem in numerous ways. Because despite what you may think or what you may believe, the little things will forever make up the big stuff. Or the big stuff are legit made up of the little things, that they will not get to the height that they are without taking those little steps. People don't just start off at square one and then jump to the 100 square. No. They got to take steps, 1, 2. Maybe they get a little confident, take 2 at a time. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe they have to regress and take half a step or go down a step to collect themselves, and then they could keep moving forward. But if you're so focused on not being able to see things in the now and only see things when you want them to come in the future, then you're not going to appreciate it as much when it's there. Because that's all you strive for, that's all you want to get. And then at the end of the day, what you realize is that you didn't want it as much as you thought you did. You enjoy the idea of chasing something and having something to go after. But once you got it, it's like, what's next? And that's why you want to learn to appreciate the journey that you take to get there. Appreciate the things that you come across, the experience getting there in the first place. Because once you get there, it's not that you won't appreciate it, but you understand that there are some other things along the way that you may have appreciated more, and that may have just caught your eye more, or that you really just adore for being there while you get to what you want to get to. But understand that what you want at the end of the day may not always be the most valuable thing in your life. And you understand that there are a bunch of other things that you could try out, experience, that just might replace that one thing that you've always worked for, or that you've always tried to obtain and get. And the same applies in the opposite sense. Maybe you're too stuck in the now and you have a hard time trying to picture where your life can be in the future. Understand that wherever you are now will not be like that forever. And even if you feel like it can be, then start to understand why that may be. Maybe there's something currently that's holding you down, that's not letting you see your life in the future in a brighter light, or whatever the case may be. Maybe there's something that you haven't figured out yet, that you haven't solved yet. Maybe you're still going through some problems that's been happening for a few years now. And maybe that's the main thing that's keeping you in this emotionless state, because you have yet to conquer this thing that's just been holding you down for however long. Maybe you had this relationship issue going on for the past 2 years. You would never know how to deal with it. But then once you deal with that issue, now it's like you can picture so much better for yourself. You can allow yourself to breathe freely and roam freely, do the things that you want to do, because you're no longer like bonded down to that stress. You're no longer stuck to that problem, and your life is no longer centered around that problem. Therefore, now you have the opportunity and the chances to expand on something and go after something. Because what you have currently is not all you're gonna have in the future. You may lose this. You may lose some things. You may gain some things, and that's what the importance of value comes from. Because understand everything that you have right now may not be like that forever. Can be gone tomorrow. Can be gone the next day. Can be gone whenever, and it's important to cherish those things that are dear to you, because they may not always last. Or once they're gone, you may realize that you didn't appreciate it as much as you should have. And that tends to be a problem for a bunch of people. And it's not something that is unusual. It's okay. We often tend to just lose sight of the things that are important of us just because they're so common to us currently. Like, let's say going home. Going home is something that you're used to. Maybe you just got out of work, you just came from school, you go home every day. And you start to lose as much appreciation for your house. Even if you don't mean to, some subconsciously it's just like you're starting to like not find it as appealing. Even if it's a brand new house, maybe the house looks amazing to you and obviously you enjoy walking to the door every day. At some point it's just gonna feel like a regular house. And you're not just gonna start thinking about it as like a blessing and appreciating that the fact that you just get to walk through a door every single day and have a roof on top of your head. However, one day that house can just be gone. Maybe someone bought it out from under you. Maybe it burned down, whatever. But that's the point where it's like you start to realize just how much appreciation you have for the house and everything that resides inside of it. However, we don't often take the opportunity and the chance to just step back and realize that we have a lot of things to value currently. And we don't need to be so caught up on what's next or what came before and so forth. Because doing that is what's going to keep you in the state that you're in. It won't let you move forward. It won't let you progress and expand on new things. Like this, for me, like this is a whole new thing, but like currently now it's something that's being built into like my everyday and something that I'm getting used to and getting more comfortable with. Whereas before that wasn't the case because I'm not someone that uses social media all the time. Or I'm not someone that just sees himself as someone that's very capable of doing something like this. So it's not something that is just easier for me to like branch out to. However, seeing that there's a bunch of things that I needed to let go in order to go after what I want to go after, I had to let those things go. And in the moment, it could be hard, of course. But at some point, you're going to get used to it and realize that it was most definitely for the better. But you're just so clouded by losing what's important to you currently that you don't realize that you're going to gain more in the future. You just have to be open to it. You just have to be willing to try to gain something different, to try to obtain what's really for you. Because not everything in your current and your now is going to be with you in the future. And it's not always going to be what you need and what's best for you. And vice versa, what you think that you may need in the future may not really be what you need, and you realize that you end up getting something different, but also better. Right? This dream career, this dream job you strive for, that you worked your butt off for every day. You may have thought, oh, this is what I need. This is going to be good for me, good for my health, good for my finances, whatever. And then you're met with a whole different job. You land a whole different job, and financially it may not be what you dreamed it to be. But personally for you, you see it as the best fit because it speaks to you. The other job wasn't speaking to you, but it was going to pay the bills. It was going to do everything that you wanted to do. However, it wasn't going to please you the way you figured it may be, how you figured it may benefit you and figured it may help you in a way that you so dreamed it. But I'm going to say that's going to be all for this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.